Back on Poke Nation this week, Jim Gazzolo, Heath Schroyer. Oh my God, Will Wade is joining us. This is a disaster.
Well, not only that, but we got new threads today. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, Coach is sitting over here, and we were talking about it. Like, man, this is unbelievable. That
Okay,
we got a
here's
new
the
jacket.
thing. Let's put this to rest.
Okay.
It's borrowed.
Oh my God.
My jacket is in transit. It was clean. My wife picked it up. Then she took it in the car, and it's not here right now. So I bought. But look, in the past, I wouldn't have gone to get another jacket.
For sure. My vote is that whoever you borrowed this from, I have a little birdie that told me it might be Matt Bonnet. However,
How do you have a birdie?
if that is true, I'm going to talk to Matt and see if we could actually purchase it. It fits you really well. It's a good look. Brings out the green.
Did you see the jacket down there I almost wore?
Oh yeah.
That would have been awesome. A sequence blue purple. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad you didn't do that.
Let's go. Let's get into this basketball season a little bit, but also I want to start with softball.
Okay.
Because interesting weekend. McNeese softball is 6-4, but your 4 losses are all to Power Fives.
Yep.
3 of them are to top 25s.
Right.
2 are to the national champion 3 times, who's won 62 straight games. And you're the only team that they can get run ruled by them, the only team that scored on them over the weekend. So it wasn't what it looks like.
Right.
But you sold out twice.
Yeah, it was great.
That's, for an AD, to sell out twice in softball this early in the year, with basketball selling out, with baseball's going to have a big crowd against UL. What does that mean?
Well, I think that obviously it's a credit to our fan base, number one. I think that, what Coach Wade and basketball started here, with just the notoriety, the excitement, I think it's carried over to softball. It's going to carry over to the spring. And obviously Coach Landrino he's done a phenomenal job of building a program to the point of, you get the Cows and the Baylors and the Oklahomas to come here.
To come here. Not just play them.
It's an amazing deal. That our softball program has been good for a long time. And we should be good. I mean, we have the best facility around. We fund it really well. But Coach has done an unbelievable job. And, they work at it. At the end of the day, those kids work extremely hard. Coach recruits extremely hard. And I'm really happy for them. But it's great for this department. It's great for this university.
It was amazing to see, because being at one of the games, I went to 3 of the games that weekend. I went to only one because of basketball. I only went to the one Oklahoma game. But to see the fans who understand the game, but to also talk to some Oklahoma people who really enjoyed being here and how they were treated here, they will pass that along to other people.
Absolutely. I mean, look, there's a cooking club, with Carl Vincent and Mike and Paula Dupuy. They cook for the visiting teams. I mean, it's a real event, and it's something that I'm really proud of what this softball program has become, and it's just, again, when you bring the number 1 team in the country in here to McNeese, it says a lot about the program, but also says a lot about the community support and the facilities that we have.
It also says that you're good enough to play them and they get something out of it, because they're not going to come here just to run over people.
That's exactly right. I mean, Coach Wade obviously is really, really, I mean, he's an analytical, I don't want to say freak, but he is really into analytics. But, so if you look at it from Oklahoma's standpoint, to your point, they're not going to come here if they know that it's going to hurt their RPI going into late into the year. So they understand that historically we've been really good. We're going to be really good again. We're picked again to win the league. So they're not losing anything. They're actually gaining by coming to McNeese and playing on the road.
Yeah, and playing on the road at big things. Basketball-wise, you're closing in on a conference championship. You can a win on Saturday with some of the things that happen. You'll probably wrap up one of the double byes, which is the big thing.
Yep.
Could win the league at Lamar on Monday night. But just the attention the Christian Shoemates are getting, and what has that done for the school, in your opinion? And what do you think it does for, say, football recruiting and other things?
I think it's a game changer. I think what Coach Wade has done for this community is something that you can't put a price on. I talked about that when we signed him to his new contract. There's you can't even put in words what this community. It's something to rally around. I mean, I kind of get choked up thinking about how many people in this community have come up to me and thanked me. And I know that it's tenfold to Coach Wade about what this has meant for them. This community's been through a lot, and I think Coach Wade and what this basketball team and program is starting to do right now is give them hope. Give them something to rally around, give them something to feel good about themselves. It is special. I think it's going to carry over into obviously the spring, and hopefully it carries into to a very, very, very crucial football season.
Yeah, very, very interesting how. And every time somebody says something good to him, better chance he might stay another year. You never know. Hey, go out there and talk to him.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's he is a special individual, and I know he's going to come on here next. But the thing I tell everyone who asks me is he's an unbelievable basketball coach. He's a relentless recruiter, relentless worker, but he treats people who can't help him better than anybody in that position I've ever seen. I love him as a person. We've become obviously very good friends, and I just have the utmost respect for not only what he does, but what he's about and how he runs this program.
And we'll hear from Will Wade. And in case you do kind of care for me, maybe you don't want to watch the next 12 minutes. But if not, Will Wade after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Vice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. Coach Wade, welcome back, my friend.
It's been a while.
I know. And, you have to come.
I guess Jim didn't want me on, right? He's been blocking me from being on.
I would have preferred somebody else. Yes, probably.
But I will tell you this, it must be a special time because obviously you see the new jacket.
I know. We got a new threads.
And it doesn't it flow really well with the green?
It looks perfect.
You're a little ahead of St. Patrick's Day, but we're only a month out. But I like the look, Jim. I do, and I think Polk Nation really respects the fact that you do have more than one jacket. I'm excited for that.
It's borrowed. It's borrowed.
Well, Coach, let's get to it. Obviously, we've had since the Southeastern game. We've kind of refocused and got back on track. Talk about what happened after that game. Why do you think that was maybe a turning point in the season?
Well, I don't know if what happened after the game is suitable for TV, but we were, we weren't playing very well before that game, but we've been winning, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get us refocused like we needed to we always say you can't accept in winning what you wouldn't accept in losing. And so, but we were accepting some things in winning that if we'd have lost, we just couldn't. And for whatever reason, I couldn't get especially our defensive focus, I couldn't get it where we needed it to be. And leading into Southeastern, we'd had 2 of our 3 worst defensive performances. And Southeastern made it 3 out of 4 of our worst defensive performances. And so we really just needed to lock back in. We were so passive in the first half at Southeastern, and just they took any shot they wanted, and they made more than they missed. But we were just passive. Second half we got a little bit better, but after that we were able to refocus. We really guarded Commerce well. We guarded well at Nichols. We guarded well against Corpus and those guys in Houston Christian, obviously, the previous weekend. So since then, we've actually had 3 of our 4 better defensive performances. So we just needed to refocus and lock back in and get back into the details of what it takes to win, of being physical, and quit being pretty. And I always tell them they don't put rings on smooth fingers. Like, you got to get your hands in the dirt. You got to get dirty. You got to get gritty. You got to get grimy. And if we want to win. We want to win a ring and win big. We got to do that sort of stuff. And I think we've been able to refocus ourselves since Southeastern. And now we've got to maintain that and continue that as we finish down the home stretch here.
So going in, this is my second question. So going into the home stretch, we have a couple home games left, couple road games left. What's your message to the team leading into the conference tournament?
Well, I think I talked to them about, you go to the movies, you don't go for the beginning or the middle, you go for the end.
Right.
So people remember how you finish. People remember how it ends. And so we've obviously, the movie's gone pretty well till this point. But we've got to finish it off. We've got to finish it. We've been working all this time to position ourselves for where we are now. And now you got to close.
Yep.
And now we got to be Mariano Rivera. We got to come in. A little baseball.
Very good.
We got to come in. We got to come in, and we got to come in. We got to come in and close it down here in the 9th inning. We got 5 games left. Yep. We need to win, 3 of the 5. We want to win 5 of the 5, but we need to win 3 of the 5 to win the thing and lock up the 1 seed. So we've got to finish. And that's really what we've been focusing on. And we got to adjust a couple things. We need to be better on the offensive glass. There's a couple things that I think we can do better basketball wise that I want to lock in on as we get into the home stretch here and then get into the conference tournament.
Well, a lot of things you talked about, you were saying before the loss at Southeastern, loudly, and people weren't taking you seriously because it was coach speak.
Yeah.
Do you think they started to believe you after that when they lost the game, or was it just a matter of they could now kind of tell themselves with their own eyes what was happening?
No, they knew I was. Look, they knew I was right before. It's just hard to bring yourself to do that when you're winning. It's just hard, and you got to remember, I asked our guys to raise their hands the other day. I don't have a player in the room that's ever won a conference regular season title. I have one player that's ever been to the NCAA tournament in the room. So we've got guys. It takes adjustment. We've got guys that came from, they put up some good numbers in some of these programs, but they didn't necessarily win a ton. And so, if you're not used to winning, if it's something that's new, it takes some adjusting to. And sometimes, I look like, just a nut job up there when we're winning, and I'm losing my mind on stuff, and they look at me like I've got 3 eyes and 2 foreheads, and what's going on? But I think after a loss, they knew what I was saying was right. It was just a matter of could we correct it, and we just couldn't correct it till we lost because we just didn't have the urgency and the hunger to correct it like we needed to.
The game against Nichols the other night, Saturday afternoon. Your best defensive game, I thought, at least in the conference.
Yeah.
What did you do differently? Because it seems like I've watched it in practice. I see what you're trying to do. It seemed like they reacted much better on the long baseline passes. They were always in somebody's face. It seemed like they were just more aggressive.
Yeah, we were much improved. I thought, we didn't put Cullum on an island like we do sometimes, which helped us. That helped with our rotations being quicker, people being off to the ball. We were just more locked in. We were able to the whole thing is we were able to win our one-on-one matchups on the ball. If you can't win your one-on-one, it's like a defensive back in football. If they can win the one-on-one matchup, then it frees other people to go do other things. Yeah. And we were able to win one-on-one matchups on the ball. Anytime you can win one-on-one matchups on the ball, your defense is going to be pretty good.
And you closed out on shooters, which is, I know your big concern is letting the free shots go.
We did. We left 21 open one time. We had a couple mistakes, but for the most part,
one
we did.
time it's going to happen.
Well, we did it with 2 as well. We squatted on 2 with somebody too. So
nothing's
it happened
perfect.
multiple
Nothing's
times.
perfect, huh?
Not in my world.
When we come back to Will Wade's world, we're going to figure out what's going on after they come back with 5 games to go, 3 at home on Polk Nation.
At Veron Vice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us.
We're back to Polk Nation. Will Wade is here. Okay, everybody asks me this question, so I want your honest opinion. If you win out but lose the title game in the conference, I don't really think about, can you get in a, because this is a strange year, there's a lot of things going on.
I would say there's a very, very slight chance.
Okay.
I'd say under 3%. We would have to, it's not all in a vacuum, so, you know, we'd have to move our net up probably another 15 spots from where we are now. I think we sit about 52 right now. You got to be in the top 40, but really need to be somewhere between 35 to 37 if you really want to have a shot. So we'd have to move up 15 spots. Our defensive efficiency finally moved into the top 100. Our offensive efficiency is in the top 50. I mean, part of it would be some of these teams down the stretch. Like we'd have to win big, like to move big spots, like to move 6 or 7 spots. Like we won by 27 at Nichols. We moved up 7 spots. We moved up, I think, another 10 spots when we won by whatever we won by at Houston, at Houston Christian. So is it impossible? No. Is it within striking distance? I guess you could say yes, but it's going to be very, very challenging. But we would have to really, really win big on basically all five of these games. We'd have to win by at least 10 plus, and probably 4 of the 5 we'd have to win by 20 plus to give ourselves a chance to move our efficiency numbers where they need to be, to move the net where it needs to be. So it would be a challenge.
Not impossible, but hard.
It'd be very challenging. I mean, look, the loss at Southeastern is a quad 4 loss. We have a quad 1 win at VCU, but you know, I mean, I think we're 13-1, 14-1 against quad 4. That's just a ton of quad 4. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah, and I guess the next question is, though, you haven't, even at Houston Christian, you haven't run it up, though. You're playing everybody 10 minutes at the end of games. you're playing your bench 9-10 minutes at times. You don't want to run it up. That's
No, we're not.
that's part of the formula.
We're not trying to. I mean, Berze
can shoot threes.
I mean,
That's what he
Berze is a good player, and Fields obviously makes some things happen when he gets in there.
He's an interesting guy to watch.
And we put Cam Jones in and Tijon and those guys. I mean, they're good players too. They would play if we weren't. They would play quite a bit if our team wasn't as good as it is. And so, we have those guys in there at the end, and they certainly, I think the bigger point to that is that they're competing and still playing the way we want to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're out there goofing around. They know we're not out there goofing around. They know we've got certain standards. Like the guys on the bench were getting worried because they turned it over a couple times at the end of the Nichols game, and they're making sure we didn't get to our turnover number because we'd have been running when we get back to practice if they'd have gone over our turnover number. So they understand that we've got to play a certain way and we've got to play to a certain standard even when they're in there late in the game.
Coach, I want to get to something I think that Poke Nation would find really interesting. So you have a formula of 4 or 5 statistics each game. If you get 3 of those 4, that's this percentage to win. If it's 4 or 4, talk a little bit about that and what they are.
So it's 3. We have 5 of them. So if it's 3 out of the 5, you're guaranteed to win. 2 out of the 5, you've basically got a 60% chance of winning. 1 out of the 5, it's under 50. So that's what we grade ourselves on.
So what are
every
those
game.
5?
Well, we want 30 plus deflections. We want 12 or less turnovers. We want 5 turkeys. So turkeys are 3 stops in a row. If you get that one alone, that gives you about a 40% chance to win. We want to win the rebounding battle. And then the 5th one is a game goal based specifically on that team. So like Nichols, we wanted to win the 50-50 balls by 5+. So we felt like we needed to win toughness plays. A lot of times it has to do with making more free throws than the opponent attempts. Sometimes if we play a lethal transition team, holding them to 10 or less in transition offense, whatever it may be. But the last one is game specific. But if you get 3 out of the 5, you're going to win. But the reality is if you get the turkeys and the turnovers, the other 3 are pretty much negated by that. If you can not turn it over and you get those amount of stops, like you're pretty much going to win. So
other thing I have for you, what do you think the ceiling? Where can this team continue to improve?
Well, I think our defensive rebounding is getting better, but we can continue to get better there. Our offensive rebounding's been spotty. We need to be a better offensive rebounding team. I got to do a better job. We got to put some new stuff in this week to get Hade back going. Teams are kind of loading to him. We got to do a better job of masking some things with Cooper and with Shoemate. Some teams have figured some stuff out there, and when we got the 2 non-shooters out there, and although Shoemate's been shooting it better, there's some things that we need to adjust, and we're going to do that. I've spent the last couple of days working on that and talking to other coaches, and I got 8 minutes of film on my computer on exactly how I want to do it. So we've got to get some of that stuff straightened out, but really, we've got to get our press offense has got to get better. We are shaky against the press, in my opinion. I know we get it over and we don't turn it over a lot, but it looks shaky to me. So I want to get our press offense better, our offensive rebounding better, and improve our defensive rebounding. Get a few more sets in.
Do you, last question before we get out of here, do you look at bracketologies in that right now?
No.
When will you? On
If
Selection
we
Sunday?
win, if we win the league, I'll start looking at kind of where we're at. But I mean, I know where our metrics are. I would assume we're anywhere between a 12 and a 13 seed in most of them. Like where our metrics are and where our numbers are, I know that. Our Kim Palm, our nets, our efficiency ratings. I know all that sort of stuff. So I would assume we're probably mid 12 or the highest 13 if I were guessing. If I looked at them.
So the fans are way ahead of you on that.
They're ahead of me. Our fans are great. How about the crowd we had at Nichols?
It's awesome.
Incredible. I know we got a bunch of people coming to Lamar on.
I'll
Monday
even
night.
go to Lamar.
How about that? Oh my gosh, the world's gonna end. But it was the crowd at Nichols was phenomenal. The crowd at Houston Christian was phenomenal. We're very appreciative of our fans and everybody traveling. It makes a big difference on the road.
When we come back with Coach's final thoughts after this on Poke Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
We're back. Well, Wade always makes it exciting. Never takes it personal. I don't take anything personal. I want to ask you about this because you guys signed the beam yesterday.
Yeah.
You had a beam ceremony, which I thought was interesting. I don't know how much a beam ceremony does, but everybody put their name on the beam.
Sure.
I wanted Will Wade to put Will Wade slept here, but he didn't want to do that. But it does show progress. It does show that stage is, what exactly is that stage? Now, all the beams are in place for the press box, correct?
Correct. So it was a monumental day. Obviously, when the hurricanes came in August of 20, we're 3.5 years afterwards, and the last beam goes up, and then obviously they start to pour concrete and close it. It's a huge day, and I'm very hopeful that at least the press area will be done before the season. That's the hope. Any talk about, hey, the suites are going to be ready, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for that to be for 25. But it's going to be great at this point because you start to see it enclose. You start to see it really, really come to life. And hopefully we have the ability to put the working people, if you will, the press in the press box.
Yeah, that's all that matters, folks. That's all that really matters is that I get a good seat. No, but it shows progress.
It does.
And it's kind of, okay, we're no longer just talking about it. And so I think it's a big deal that you guys did it. I think it's good you had a ceremony for it. I didn't put my name on it, just so everybody knows. But
Gazzolo the Great, Darth Vader did nothing?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nobody would have cared.
Sad.
Nobody would have cared. But it does, I always look at it every time I go by and say, hey, that's up, that's new, that's different. I think people like to see that. They see other things progressing. I think it's a good sign for the school. All right, I want to ask you this really quick about the Incarnate Word incident Monday night. League's getting great attention in a lot of different ways. This happens, the fight between Incarnate Word and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Have we become almost a situation where with today's society we don't want to do the handshakes anymore?
I think they're outdated, personally. I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there that would disagree with me, but you would like to hope and think that players can go by and respect each other and respect their institutions. But at the same time, with everything being, every game is televised now, right?
Yeah.
Everything is there. So, I think that at some point in time, we're just setting ourselves up for a situation like that. It's really, really unfortunate. It's embarrassing, obviously, for the league. But I know Chris will do the right things, and our commissioner, and we'll move on from it and hopefully learn from it. I think that the security and what they have at games needs to be mandated. Like when you come to our game, we have police everywhere. Now, obviously, we get 4,000 fans at a game, and some people get 400. But at some point in time, I think there has to be some kind of mandates to eliminate the possibility of those things happening.
Yeah, and I think the point is, and I'm not trying to take away from sportsmanship, I'm just saying that tensions are high. I always like the fact that you get kids that don't want to be there off the court and get kids who want to compliment the other guy. Let them do that on their own.
Right.
Kind of like a football situation where you grab the guy you're up against maybe or that. And kind of like kids that don't want to be a part of it, get them out of there.
Agreed.
And that's just, I'm not blaming the South, that's just the society we're in now.
I agree.
We're taking too many advantage of that, and those things are happening too often. I want to end this on a sad note. Guest of the show many times before, former McNeese athletic director Bruce Hemphill died last week at his residence in Sulphur. He was a big help to this show getting started back in the day. I want to thank him for it, remember him for it, and say our prayers go out to his family. We'll see you next time on Poke Nation.